We see Mathi Lenaerts against Matthias Dillen. We saw Matthias Dillen earlier today. They're on table 4. So the winner is going to be in the top 8. So it's a win and end game.
Yes, indeed. Both players have 12 points at this moment. They're both 4-1. So indeed, the winner of this match will be in top 8.
Yeah.
Standings before round 6 on the first place at this moment we have Dries van Hooklom with 15 points. He's the only player that went 5-0 until now. He's playing Eldrazi's.
Yeah.
Then second at this moment is Jeroen Seyen. He has 13 points. We saw him in the first round today. That was the Burn player.
Yeah.
Third is Marvin Roelofs, we didn't see today. Then fourth was Joris van Holven, that we also didn't see on stream today. The fifth is Johan Steurs. He's playing the Miracles deck that we saw last round against Jonas Elpers.
Yeah.
Was it? Yes.
Yeah.
And then on sixth place we have Kevin van de Werf. We saw him for a short time on stream on our backup table. We think he was playing the mono red deck with the sneak attack and through the breach.
Yeah.
So, and then on the 7th and 8th place we have Matthias Dillen and Mathi Lenaerts. Those are the two players that are here at this moment. So we see Mathi Lenaerts playing Lance, and Matthias Dillen is playing Dead in Texas, as we saw earlier today. I think Lance versus Dead in Texas is a very good matchup for Lance. You have Maze of It to untap the creatures. You have Punishing Fire that kills almost everything. All the small creatures, only not like Better Skull and stuff. That's hard. After sideboard you can bring in Crows and Grips. As you see here, you have the Resident port just to lock down some early lands. Only the Dead in Texas player has Source to Plowshares in his deck. So if you create a merit large token, it can be plowed. You will gain 20 lives, but still your token is dead at that moment. That's not very interesting. And we see Mathi Lenaerts opening with the Mox Diamond Grove of the Burnwillows. Matthias Dillen instantly wasting the Grove of the Burnwillows.
Because
Mathi
he's
going for a new gamble. Maybe searching for a loam this time. I don't know what he did get the first gamble. That we didn't see. We can see it as well. You don't have to reveal the card. So. But you need some life from the loam. So
but now he's searching for the fourth card, and you have to discard at random. So
therefore, if it's a loam, it's not important what gets picked. If you take the loam out, and it's still okay. And you can dredge it in the next turn. You can play it from that moment on. You have a lot of lands. And there are a lot of lands that are very annoying for Matthias Dillen. Tabernacle is very annoying, Maze of It is very annoying, Glacial Chasm is very annoying. Oh, there you have it, Tabernacles in the graveyard. So Mathi plays his Forest that can get wasted at this moment. So if he now has the loam, it can start to be very annoying for Matthias Dillen.
So he gets the Tabernacle back.
This deck is just seriously annoying. Says Quack, I believe that's Tom Neven, who is already home. He was here today at our tournament. As you can suspect, if he's already home, he didn't do well with his 4-color loam deck. I think so, it's Tom Dave, not 100% sure, but I do believe I'm correct.
So dredging the life from the loam back.
So on the other side, it's Spirit of the Labyrinth, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the Spirit of the Labyrinth says it's for 2 mana. It's a 3/1 creature, I believe. It's like a creature enchantment.
Yeah.
And it says players can't draw more than 1 card each turn. That's not a big problem for Mathi Lenaerts at this moment, because he's dredging life from the loam. That's even not drawing a card.
Mm-hmm.
So we know they're playing some cycle lands, Tranquil Ticket, or the black one, the Baron Moor.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's then the card you draw every turn. Even if you dredge again along with it still not count as a draw, because it's a replacement effect. So you don't really draw the card, you replace the draw by another effect. Okay. Greg says no draws except your normal draw, but I think that's incorrect. It was a Spirit of the Labyrinth. As you can see, each player can draw more than 1 card each turn. So it's you can draw other cards than the one from your draw step. You only can draw 1 card each turn. In your opponent's turn, you can as well cycle a card and draw a card there. Mm-hmm. So, but I strongly believe Tom has known that as well. Oh, that was wrong. That's wrong as well.
The graveyard of Mathi was exiled, so no more Tabernacle.
Okay. So what is the card? I don't know the card that is played by
Mathias. Why the graveyard was exiled. Now there's an Ether Veil. I think Mathi is reading this card for the 2nd or 3rd time.
So a Barbarian Ring and a Maze of It. So the ring says you can tap it for 1 red mana and it does 1 damage to you. If you have Threshold, you can put 1 red mana in it, you can sacrifice it, and then it shoots 2 damage to any target. So you can kill a creature with it, or you can start shooting at your opponents.
Yeah.
Okay, the card, he says it's the new spirit, sacrifice the spirit, exile target player's graveyard. Are you sure it's the spirit into the rebel cleric or something? From one of the new sets.
Yeah. 3 mana.
Thalia.
Yeah.
That's the big Thalia. Yes, indeed. Remorseful Cleric. I was close to it though. So now we have the big Thalia on board. That's a 3/2 first striker that we saw earlier today. This means that all non-basic lands from Mathi Lenaerts will come into play tapped, and his creatures as well.
But I think that's irrelevant, the creatures.
At this moment, yes.
Yeah.
So there you have a Wooded Foothills, and that's the cycle land I was talking about. That's the Tranquil Ticket.
Mm-hmm. Punishing Fire.
Yep.
Yep.
So I'm not 100% sure, but it looks like this match is turning towards the favor of Mathi Lenaerts.
Yeah.
He has still a loam active He has Punishing Fire in his graveyard. That's online. So if he plays Loam, he can take the cycle end, so he can draw the extra card each turn. So he has the card advantage. He has the removal advantage. He can tap lands.
Yeah.
It seems like Mathi Lenaerts is very favored at this moment.
And with no white mana, Mathias isn't playing anything. Now he's tapping one of the ports of Mathi.
Yeah, just to keep one mana open in his next turn, probably.
Yeah. Oh, but there's a wasteland.
But the wasteland.
So now he can waste the Cavern of Souls and port in the upkeep the plains, so he still hasn't a white mana.
Yeah, but there is a vial online already on 2.
Yeah.
It can be brought to 3. But still now, Mathi Lenaerts cast Life from the Loam. He takes the cycle hand back, he has the wasteland back on hand. For him, not for Mathias Dillen, but only for Mathi Lenaerts, it's a little bit a pity that he doesn't have an exploration or mana bond on the battlefield. Then the deck would just go insane.
Okay. But he still can pick the
there
Punishing Fire.
Stoneforge Mystic. What's he taking? He's taking the Swords of Fire and Ice.
Just to make a creature protection from red.
From red.
Yeah.
But you still need to find the possibility to attach it to a creature. You always can a response, Punishing Fire, the creature.
Not quite sure and what the life total of Mathias is, because he have gained some life from the Grove of the Bornellos. I see there's a die, but not sure what. It's more than 20. So there is a sword.
So the first card we see in the graveyard is a Molten Vortex, I believe.
Yeah.
It's a Carcass and Exploration.
You know both of these players very well, I think. Who do you think has the edge in experience of legacy play? Do you have an idea?
I have no idea, Ivo. Mathi Lenaerts is playing the game from the beginning of Magic. He's playing it for more than 20 years already, so he knows how to play Magic, yes?
Yeah.
No doubt about that. Mathias Dillen, I know him for several years now.
Yeah.
I met him on our own tournaments over here that we're hosting today. I met him all over tournaments in Belgium for the past years, but I have no idea how many tournaments he's playing or.
He's a well-known Dead on Texas player.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. What I do know is he's a well-known Dead on Texas player, and he really knows his deck.
Yeah.
And this is definitely not the first time that he's playing against lands and not against an online Punishing Fire. So he knows when it's time to scoop it down.
Okay.
No, I just want to say maybe he sees something to play around it. Yes.
Yeah.
So we thought Mathi Lenaerts has a huge advantage against Mathias Dillen for the state of the board.
Yeah.
The board state what it was now. It seemed like Mathias Dillen believed it as well. Probably, as I said, it's not the first time he's playing lands against lands. Yeah, so he knows it's a big problem to play around all those cards. So these guys are sideboarding. What would Mathi Lenaerts bring in? The Sphere of Resistance and the Chalices. So the Thorn of Amethyst. So that's definitely not good enough against a Dead Texas player. He has some Chalices. He has Crozen Grips inside.
Maybe the Crozen Grip for the Ether Vial.
Or for the for the equipments.
The equipments. Yeah, those are definitely coming in.
Yeah, there we already saw one of the Crozen Grips. So. He's looking what lens he can take out.
Yeah. Not sure what 4 cards he has put aside there.
So both players are already done sideboarding, they're shuffling up their decks, and they're almost ready to start their second game. So to come back to what you asked me earlier today, you asked me what I was thinking about our top 8, who would make it to top 8 today.
Yeah.
I told you, like 4 rounds ago, probably like Miracles is a very good place at the moment in this meta game.
Yeah.
I believe if we have the breakdown over here, there's only 1 Miracle player today, maybe 2.
2.
There are 2 maybe, okay. Yeah, it's Johan Sturs and Bagus Bender was playing Miracles as well. And we had a lot of Dead Texas players today, we had 6 of them. Yes, and I told you earlier today, I strongly feel that Miracles and Dead Texas would be placed very well to be in our top 8 today. The meta feels right to play those 2 decks at this moment. As told you before, Johan Sturs is already in our top 8. He's settled. And now the match we are looking at, it's Matthias Dillen playing Dead Texas. He's the only player of the 6 who has any chance to go in top 8 today. The other 5 players are already out.
There you see the advantage of the experience in a deck, because we know Matthias is a very well-known Dead Texas player. So.
And indeed, Tom, I was very incorrect. Bagus Bender didn't play Miracles. He played Stoneblade. It was Jens Rutz that was playing his Miracle deck. So this time Mathi Lenaerts has the exploration. He could start immediately with the second land. That was a Barbarian Ring. Matthias Dillen is not a quick start at this moment. We know he has some Cataclysms inside. Are those actually any good against the land deck? Evil?
You can put it on the screen if you want. So,
but I don't think it's any good. You can still choose 1 enchantment, 1 artifact, and 1 creature. So, and the land, of course.
Yeah.
So I think actually it's very good. Maybe it destroys all the lands. We can see you can pop it up.
It's now
there
Rest
you have
in
it.
Peace. Yeah.
Oh, Rest in Peace. That's very good. That's very good against the land deck.
Yeah.
We saw earlier before Leyline of the Void against another lands deck.
Yeah.
It's the same deck actually, but against another deck. And there was Leyline of the Void as well, the winning card at that moment. So here you have the Cataclysm. Each player chooses from among the permanents he or she controls an artifact, a creature, an enchantment, and a land, then sacrifices the rest. It looks really strong against our deck. If this resolves, then it could be good enough.
Mm-hmm. So he's closing grip the rest in peace.
Indeed, Quack, it's a bad Armageddon. But actually, it's a bad Armageddon, bad Wrath of Gods, bad. What is the card that kills all the enchantments and Serenity? Like, not completely, but okay. It's like all together. So here you have it again, the Remorseful Cleric. Maybe we can search that one up because we didn't know what card that was.
Yeah.
Tom, help us out.
Activation of the Ether Vial. Put a Sever Avenger end of turn into play. Putting the vial up to 3 in the upkeep.
So this is the card. It's indeed in spirit, as Tom said. It's for 2 mana and 2/1 flying creature. Sacrifice, Remorseful Cleric, exile all cards from target player's graveyards. And indeed, it's very good against the Lens deck as well.
So wasting the Maze of It in response, Mathi is going to crop
Crop
rotation.
rotate.
Yeah.
So
Maybe
now
get
Matthias
a
Dillen.
Thespian States maybe?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Thespian States
States.
to create a token.
Yeah.
And this could be a very big problem for Matthias Dillen if he has no Swords to Plowshares in hand.
Yeah, he has
I
a
don't
blocker.
know. Yeah, okay, that's for 1 turn.
Yeah.
But he needs then a Swords to Plowshares to get rid of it, or a thing like a Flicker Wisp or something that can blink the token as well, so it will be removed completely.
The vial is on 3, so it's possible. Making token.
Still have no idea what he has in hand. But I think it's a Flicker Wisp.
Yeah.
Okay, there's
Yeah.
it. Okay.
So he targeted the token that we even didn't see.
Yeah. It was away of the battlefield a lot quicker than it was on it.
Yeah. Two cards in hand from
So
Mathi.
now it looks very good for Matthias Dillen.
Yeah.
Mathi Lenaerts, almost 0 cards on hand, no good cards on the battlefield this moment. And Matthias Dillen can swing in for 8 every turn, so he has a 2-turn clock. Okay, now he has a 3-turn clock with the Maze of It. But still, Mathi Lenaerts needs to find some removal spells to kill the creatures on Matthias Dillen's side.
It's a gamble.
Okay, he's going for a gamble.
He's taking Tabernacle.
Seems like he's putting Tabernacle, yes.
Yeah. With 3 creatures and 3 lands in play, so doesn't get rid of any creatures. But Matthias can't play anything anymore.
But then
Not
still
sure.
the clock doesn't
change.
doesn't change.
Not sure if he took the Tabernacle. Let's see,
4 life
from
from
the
low.
loan. Don't know what the other card is. It's a needle.
Biting Needle. This probably will go for Ether Vial. Or
I think it's on the spirit. So he can't sack it anymore to exile. So in response, he does it.
He does it, and now it's going on the ether vial. So as I said, this will go on the ether vial.
Okay. Smart ass.
Indeed, Tom. But everybody knew Matthias Dillen was going to sack the cleric in response.
So with no cards in hand and no graveyard, I think as a lands player, that isn't the way you want to play the game.
Yeah, now he really needs to find some removal spells. He finds Talia. So this looks very bad for Mathi Lenaerts. He finds a Grove of the Burn Wolves. That's very good, but
it's piece number 1.
Matthias Dillen has a 2-turn clock, and even if he finds now a Punishing Fire or something, it's still not good enough to do anything with it. Okay, Matthias Dillen wanted to try to activate the vial while Biting Needle is out, so that's impossible to do.
They've called a judge. Just to make sure what to do. So the file becomes untapped again. Probably just returning in time. It was end of turn, so I think Matthias is going to his unstep. Now swing in with the team. One gets, so it's 3, 4, 5.
I think Mathi Lenaerts is on 3 at this moment. I don't know if there's any out from Mathi Lenaerts at this moment. I don't believe so, but okay, let's see what he has from the top. Just show us the card, Mathi.
Draw another one.
Okay, Richmond Port. And it's over. They're ready for game 3.
So a deciding game to make it to the top 8 or not.
Yep, the winner of this match will the standings above were incorrect. It's 1-1 at this moment, of course. On our backup table, we have as well a Lens player. He's still playing for top 8 against the Grieks's player, Jonas Elpers, and the other one was Richie that we saw earlier today on the stream tables. One of these players will hit top 8 as well, normally. Who wins here will hit top 8.
Okay.
As well, I can tell you that normally Seb van Doon, who we saw earlier today on the stream with his Topter Foundry,
Antique
Tezzeret, yes, indeed. He did win from Lars Bonen with the NTech, so he's on 13 points at this moment as well, so he is hitting top 8 as well.
Okay. That's quite nice, maybe we can...
Normally.
We can have him back on stream maybe later. In the top 8. So...
probably it's not true. If I do look to the standings correctly, even if Seb goes to 13 points, Ricky is playing to Jonas Elpers and he has only 9 points, so if Ricky wins, he has 13 points as well, and the resistance is a lot higher. These I did all, then Seb van Dun will still be 9th and not 8. So there is a big chance that he even...
Mathi is playing Mathias, so one of them is going to be at 12 and will drop down, and Seb will jump over him.
Ja, 1, 10 plus 1 is 9. Okay, but here we see Mathias Dillen with the vial, and Mathi Lenaerts opens with the Molten Vortex.
That's the discard a land card. Is it that one?
Yes. But you have to pay 1 red mana every time you do it, and then you can shoot some damage. Here you have it. This is the card on Mathi's side. Yeah. So discard the land card. Molten Vortex deals 2 damage to target creature or player, and that for every land card. And Mathi is playing a lot of lands.
Yeah. Turn 1 Eat of Hail from Mathias is a ideal start for a Dead in Texas player. Still in his upkeep, I think. I'm not sure, or Mathi wants to. Oh no, already drawn a card, so it's a revoker.
This can say Molten Vortex, and it's not a trigger, so it doesn't say when it comes into play. It doesn't trigger, so you can't Molten Vortex in the response. It says as it comes into play. So Mathi Lenaerts can't respond to it to kill it with the Molten Vortex.
The Wasteland. I think Mathias also did miss a land drop.
And as the chat says, he didn't port Mathias Dillen in the last turn.
Yeah.
Therefore he had 2 mana free to cast a Revoker.
Yeah. Now he did port,
so now as well there is a Mother of Runes online.
That's 2 damage. You have to keep track of the life totals. He's at 18. Because Mathi doesn't change his die.
So can you see any cards in Mathi's hand at this moment? So he has a Thespian stage. He needs to find the Dark Depths, cast slow to retrieve the 2 Wastelands from his graveyard back.
Serra Avenger.
So now again it looks pretty good for Mathias Dillen. He has a lot of
damage
to push through every turn. He's hitting for 5 at this moment.
Yeah, he's going to do 13.
And we already saw he has a lot of extra creatures in hand.
Yeah.
So he can drop.
He didn't put up his file up to 3.
No, maybe because he has a Stoneforge Mystic in hand.
Yeah.
That he wants to violin at this moment. You see, there you have it. Stoneforge Mystic.
But he also has a Flicker Wisp in hand, so next turn
it will probably go to 3. Or maybe if he has a Remorseful Cleric in hand, he will leave it on 2 for every shenanigans that happen on Mathi's side when he starts to dredge his loam.
Now you see how powerful an Ether Veil can be, because he's playing with no lands.
Yeah.
But still has developed his board state so big that he's
hitting in for 6 at this moment.
Hasn't taken the damage yet, so yeah, he's 6 damage. He goes to
7 normal.
7. Yeah.
And we can see he has some extra creatures.
Copying his Taiga. Yeah, makes a copy of his Taiga. I think handshaking time.
He didn't find anything to remove one of the creatures. I think it was already pretty late once Revoker hit the battlefield for the Molten Vortex. Then the Mother of Runes that followed up. Indeed, Tabernacle. If he had a crop rotation for Tabernacle, that would be a very good one at this moment. Maybe if he could follow up with a Maze of it or something at that moment, then he could turn over the game completely. Maybe he made the error where he didn't Rishton port the land in Matthias Dillen's turn. So he had the option indeed for the Revoker. There he could play the Revoker. Next turn he drew the Wastelands for wasting the Rishton port. Maybe if he just had ported the land in that turn, then the Revoker didn't follow, he could waste it, and then all the other creatures he could kill them with the Molten Vortex.